Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Part von Tangle Tower. Wir haben uns jetzt hier schon mal mit allen Leuten geredet und wir haben hier noch so ein paar Räume. Hier ist ein Rätsel, da komme ich nicht weiter. Da war ein Rätsel, da komme ich nicht weiter. Hier ist ein Rätsel, das haben wir auch noch nicht gelöst. Egal. Gucken wir uns das mal alles an. Musikzimmer.
Are they paper lanterns?
Ja.
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
Aha.
Oh, whatever it is, it's playing a little trumpet.
Well, it is the music room. He's gotta practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
Diese glänzende Statue eines merkwürdigen Wesens hält ein großes Blashorn. Es befindet sich ein offensichtlicher Riss entlang des Blashorns der Statue. Im Blashorn und am Boden darunter befinden sich mehrere Scheiben Glas. Oh. Kann man jetzt eigentlich gucken? Flint, Bruder, Ehefrau. Okay. Dann reden wir mit der Dame. Ich finde, weil ich sehe jetzt auch gar nichts, wo man hier jetzt so antatschen könnte.
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
It's pretty dusty. So I'm guessing nobody.
Kann man das
Who
öffnen?
plays the violin, I wonder?
So I'm guessing nobody.
Okay, nein.
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude! Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice. I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How are you related to the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
Two of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
Do people ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... Things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer. 3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that. Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually, she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
So there are two families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows. 4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
There isn't one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the fellows and the Pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea. There's something I noticed about Freya's knife wound.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just a little too peaceful.
Okay.
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird.
Okay.
Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that?
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable.
Hmm.
Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody? It was my mother's originally.
So, why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes.
Schwierig.
Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone? Or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you. Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that.
Ich will dich mal was fragen zu Fitz.
Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way.
Oh, ich hoffe, ich muss nicht mit allen über sie reden.
Heart of head, but free of mind. Unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond. Behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied. It's hers, it's free. Was then, is now, will ever be.
Okay.
All right. Poppy's bedroom is unlocked.
Ja.
I wonder what's in there.
Ja gut, wir könnten schon mal gucken, ne? Also. Hier ist Poppys. Ich will mir aber das jetzt erstmal angucken. Erstmal die großen, offensichtlichen. Jawoll! Eine Vogelfrau.
My little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
Bird diagrams. Hand painted.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff.
Eine verrückte Federfrau.
I don't like mirrors. They steal your soul.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do it by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
So kannst du natürlich auch machen. Hi.
Oh, just beautiful. What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
Oh, you're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you think?
Sure. Yeah.
Also ich finde, Penelope ist voll der schöne Name.
20-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying. Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love of the field? No matter where I go, I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz. He's not really the traveling type, you see.
Fitz fellow.
The very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families. Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
Okay.
I awoke early and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there, crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day, watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him with the work in the greenhouse?
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it. I'd probably break something.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather suddenly, as it happens.
Did he say why?
He didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you'd think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course, and they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
Dann mach mal deine Aussage.
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room. But In the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom. He looked rather lost, too. I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz, too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Okay.
You know, it's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that. Not to you. Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my Fitz, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest Pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
Finally! I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Well, only last week I asked that miserable Hawkshaw woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no. Instead, she was quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist.
Jetzt hängen wir das
Somebody
Foto.
taking an interest in extinct animals.
Extinct.
Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Well, what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one, well, it was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle Tower.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one. The very last.
Oh.
Sollen wir mal das Bild zeigen? Ich habe ein bisschen Angst, aber wir zeigen ihr gleich
I
mal
know
das
a lot
Bild.
of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more trouble than we knew.
Wollen wir das mal zeigen? Ich habe ein bisschen Angst, aber wir zeigen das mal.
Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes.
Oha. Da kommt die Eifersucht.
Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue.
Okay.
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them. It'll all be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
Because that's what she does. She's a snake. Looks like one, too.
Don't you think you're being a little unfair, Penny?
She started it. Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
Ja, okay, ist ja in Ordnung. Aber eigentlich könnten die zwei miteinander verwandt sein und die zwei miteinander verwandt sein, ne?
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now.
Ich möchte ganz gern nochmal. Kann ja hier so gucken. Mutter, Vater, Verlobte. Enge Freundin, enge Freundin. Primos Mutter ist aber weg. Aber Die sind doch Geschwister, oder nicht? Oh, ich muss noch mal den Stammbaum gucken. Ich muss noch mal den Stammbaum gucken.
What is
I
that?
think it's a
Ja, es ist ein Stammbaum. Primrose, Poppy. Ah, Percival und Pandora sind Geschwister. Und Primrose... Das sind Cousinen. Ach so. Man muss ja auch mal ein bisschen... kommt man noch ein bisschen... Oh, wollen wir mal gucken, ob wir... Ah, jetzt hatte ich mir die Piepmetze von der gar nicht angeguckt, ne? Ich glaube, hier, das muss ich mir mal genauer
An
angucken.
especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
3 farbenfrohe Vögel in einem schweren, kunstvollen Käfig, ja. Okay. Ich meine, alle anderen fliegen hier so ein bisschen rum, bloß die Piepmetze halt, ne?
A rather magnificent bush. Somewhat cruelly confined to a stone pot.
There's a letter P carved into the side.
Oh, ist richtig... So, wir sind jetzt hier bei Poppy. Poppy! Was ist
It's a
das?
metronome for keeping time.
It's ticking.
Oh, ist der nervtötend.
Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
Also das macht den ersten. Guck mal, jetzt habe ich den doch. Oder nicht? Benutze die 4 Knöpfe, um alle 4 Zeilen in den Reifen oben zu bringen. Hab ich doch.
That's done it.
Neat.
Was habe ich aufgemacht?
A little hatch unlocked in the back.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm.
Ein Foto.
Of a photograph.
Die war mal blond? Der zerrissene Foto zeigt ein Mädchen mit blonden Haaren und rosa Kleidung. Das Mädchen auf dem Foto hatte einen grellrosanen Kassettenspieler mit passenden Kopfhörern. Das war ein Zimmer. Oh, da müssen wir aber mal mit
There's
Poppy reden.
something about that pink cassette tape. Something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
Später.
Various handmade posters.
What do you think those symbols mean?
Hopefully, nothing. Sheet music.
It's
Presumably.
only a few notes. I'd barely even call that music.
Yeah, it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason.
Das Notenblatt wurde eingerahmt und mit hübschen altmodischen Illustrationen verzeichnet.
There's a name for this kind of piano. You know, these ones that stand upright.
Es war ein Panino, richtig? Ja, ein Panino.
A big glass door leads out into a garden.
There's a little mechanism.
Aha! So, passt auf, wir können das jetzt mal fotografieren. Das ist schön, ne? Weil das ist nämlich das, was wir
I guess we'll come
brauchen.
back later.
Ja, ja, wir kommen da später wieder. Dann können wir nämlich jetzt hier hin. Können hier auf jeden Fall zu dem
I
Zimmer.
thought we
We
were.
are.
What's that thing?
Ja, 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 komm. Halt die Schnüsse, so. Pass auf, das... Hier kommt eine Sonne hin. Da kommt eine Sonne hin. Da kommt eine Sonne hin und da.
It made a noise.
Bäm! Es ist offen. Warte, und weil es so schön war, machen wir nochmal ein Foto.
I guess that was right.
Nein, nochmal zurück.
And the door.
I still feel like we made some sort of progress. We already saw.
Yeah, but the door didn't.
Schauen wir nochmal, ich will es wissen. So.
We already saw.
Yeah, but the door didn't unlock.
So, dann gehen wir jetzt nochmal dahin. Wenn schon, denn schon. Das gönne ich mir jetzt. So,
A big glass
wo ist es
door
denn?
leads out.
There's a little.
Ja, ja, komm. Mach auf das Ding. So, die Monde müssen halt in den richtigen Plot. So. So, die zwei können wir dann schon mal richten.
Something happened.
Da ist etwas passiert.
Must be it. Finally, it's open.
Whatever's on the other side.
Gehen wir hinaus. So, jetzt lass mal gucken, was hier ist. Der Dachgarten.
It's another little statue, doing a really bad job of hiding in the bushes.
Hat Kopfhörer auf.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
Diese leicht mitgenommene Statue eines merkwürdigen Kreatur hält einen Laut auf dem Kopf. Der Statue wurden Gehörschützer platziert.
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly. Giant stone frog. Love it.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Federn! Die Federn befanden sich größtenteils auf der Zunge des großen Steinfrosches. Das könnten auch die Federn von den Piepmätzen sein. Aber sonst... Hier ist schon wieder ein Ei,
More
ja?
egg statues.
I don't get it. Why eggs?
Well, either they have some special significance, or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make. It's so relaxing. I might just stay here.
Oh, shall I go finish the investigation on my own?
That'd be great.
Okay. Wir könnten theoretisch nochmal ihr die Federn zeigen. Schau mal, ich habe Federn
There
gefunden.
used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the place.
Most of them are rather ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to the non-ordinary ones?
That is a very good question.
Okay. Dann gehen wir mal zu Papi? Wieso? Ach so, der sagt uns, dass wir da auf jeden Fall hin müssen. Papi, guck mal, ich hab so Sachen, guck mal.
I don't know what that is.
Ja, ja.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me.
Vergiss es.
It's mine.
Können Sie das Spiel
Can you
spielen?
play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Okay.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
I found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones. Like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. I can't remember exactly.
Schwierig. Wir könnten jetzt mal mit Fitz nochmal reden. Fitz. Du bist ein gruseliger Dude. möchte, dass du das
Wait,
weißt.
those are mine, the earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No. I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
That's genius.
Oh ja. Aber wir konnten bei ihr anscheinend einen Verdacht auslösen. Mal gucken, was das ist.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
Naja, das Bild.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Die rosa Kassette am Tatort entspricht dem rosa... Irgendwie...
The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
Ja. Und?
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
Okay. Jetzt will sie auch noch.
This is the left side. We're looking
Ach so.
for the...
Und nun?
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up? And then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
Poppy hasst jetzt Fifi und Freya.
Poppy hates Fifi and Freya now.
You sure about that?
Keine Ahnung.
Not entirely. I think the answer is pretty straightforward. Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it.
Ich würde jetzt nie sagen, dass
Makes this
Poppy
whole
die...
thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
Sagen, wir müssen ja noch ein bisschen die anderen Räumlichkeiten angucken. Außerdem haben wir ja noch so Rätsel. Also das Rätsel haben wir jetzt gelöst. Außer die Rätsel mit der Kiste, die müssen wir noch, das müssen wir noch lösen. Sein Rätsel müssen wir noch lösen. Ich habe auch gesehen, dass man da hier auch ein Rätsel hat. Guck
Is
mal.
that a clock?
If it is, it's a clock with...
I'm
So.
guessing it doesn't tell the time.
So what does it do?
Drehe das Einstellrad, bis alle 4 Zeiger in der rechten Position sind. Du drehst den, du drehst den. Ach Mensch! Was drehst du denn?
Reset the puzzle.
Ja.
Reset the puzzle.
Ich bin zu dumm für solche Rätsel.
Nope.
So
Ich
moving
muss-
is like cogs on a machine.
Den muss ich zusammenkriegen. Den. Aber der macht den.
Reset the puzzle.
Die sind jetzt gleich, ne? Ne, die sind andersrum. Warte, nee, das ist doch so richtig.
I guess that's wrong.
Was? Wieso? Das steht doch in der rechten.
Did you work out what direction each hand needs to be facing?
Nö.
Each one ends with a little hoop. Try looking through the hoop and ignoring the rest.
Jeder endet mit einem kleinen Ring. Versuche durch den Ring zu sehen und den Rest zu ignorieren. Ich raff's nicht. Was? Sorry, aber ich raff's wirklich nicht. Hä? Jeder versucht durch den kleinen Ring zu sehen.
I'll do this later.
Ja, ich mach das wirklich später. Dann muss ich gucken, glaube ich. Mhm. Gucken wir uns erstmal den Raum an. Wir haben ja noch 2 Räume. Außerdem fehlen uns, glaube ich, noch Pennys Zimmer, siehst du?
That's some flower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
Eine intensive, gefärbte Blume mit ungewöhnlicher Form. Sie sieht sehr gesund und gut versorgt aus. Die Erde im Topf ist frisch und feucht. Sie hat eine ungewöhnlich blaue Farbe.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds?
Nee.
They're wooden.
Aha.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird wanted to use it?
Tausche die Position der 7 Vögel. Ja, aber wie?
Nope.
There must be some logic to how the birds are arranged. Something to do with those white lines.
Ja. Ich meine, Gelb und Blau ergibt Grün. Grün mit weiß ergibt hellgrün.
That's the one.
Hey, not bad. Did the door open? What's in there?
Ja. Zerknittertes Papier. Ein zerrissenes Stück. Was? Papier, das zerknittert wurde. Darin befanden sich rote Blütenblätter. Auf dem Papier wurde wütend eine Nachricht gekrakelt. Jetzt schnapp ich sie mir. Die Blütenblätter stammen von den roten Rosen, die im Dachgarten wachsen. Okay.
Anything in there?
Bedsheets.
That's not even remotely suspicious.
Okay, wir müssen jetzt erstmal mit Madame hier sprechen. Madame?
That's rather strange now, isn't it?
Ja.
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope. You'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
Die ist eifersüchtig auf Find und Bobby.
Yes, it's my my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar.
Okay. Ah, warte.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
I've already forgotten all three of those names.
Which one is which?
Oh, that's simple. Tatiana is the oldest, Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? He's just my hat. He doesn't have a name. Who would name their hat?
Ich dachte jetzt auch, dass es ein echter Vogel
There's
ist.
something about those petals we found in Penny's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Kann ich sie denn direkt danach fragen? Ah ne, jetzt ist wieder so Verdachtsmomente. Oh nein, ich sehe schon, dass wir schon wieder viel zu weit sind. Ich sage auf jeden Fall Dankeschön fürs Zusehen. Es tut mir so leid, aber man ist so drinne in dem Spiel. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Part wieder. Ich sage auf jeden Fall Dankeschön fürs Zusehen. Auf Wiedersehen und bye bye.